A very common thing is to want to turn your task list on and off, and it's not bound by default. But if you go into options by clicking the cogs in the upper right and go to controls, you can scroll through your key bindings and see there's a list, an item about 3/4 of the way down. It's called toggle task list. That uses left control and numpad dash because that's what I bound it to. By default, you'll see it say none and none. So what I can do to bind a hotkey is click on hotkey I want to bind. You'll get a very faint highlight around it, but I can click there, and I'll do the same thing. So I'm going to hold left control, and I'm going to press my numpad dash, and that's going to bind it to left control numpad dash. If you want to bind it something temporarily and then remove it, click again as if you're going to reassign it, and then if you press delete, it'll bind it to nothing. So in this case, left control and keypad dash is what we're going to bind it to, and then when we leave these settings and use that, you can see it brings on this task list. Current tasks are shown here. Click on a task to learn more, and we could do that. It opens that journal we were looking at. Because this has an overlay, it covers part of your screen, and because if you get a party, this gets moved over even further into your screen, it gets in the way for a lot of people. You can explicitly hide items, hide task on HUD, and they'll go away. But if you want to do, it'll still say 3 tasks in journal. So if you want to completely do away with this, go to the settings, bind it to a key. In this case, left control dash I've used, and you'll be able to turn it on and off. If you ever hide tasks and want them to pop back on, you can open up your journal, the J hotkey by default, or clicking right there. You can go to the task, click on the name of the task, and show task on HUD, and that'll pop it back on there. So if you do want to use your task list, it can be quite handy, especially if you actively toggle them on and off, just so you have a nice little checklist of what you're working on right there. Other times, a lot of times, folks would rather just bind it to a hotkey and do away with it.